Hey guys, welcome back to Paracord Planet. I know Halloween was this last weekend, but I've got one more Halloween fall type project for you guys. In this video, we're going to be making a paracord jack-o'-lantern. It's a good way to store some extra paracord on your backpack or on a keychain in case of emergency. Let's dive in. For this project, you'll need 30 feet of your main color, and I cut that to exactly 30 feet so that we can show you how much we have left over at the end. You also need about 2 feet of a accent color. I'm using yellow to make it look like the jack-o'-lantern's lit up. For the face, a type 2 fit is going to work best because we're going to be taking the core strands out of this, but a type 3 fit is going to work just fine as well. You'll also want a keychain to tie all this onto, and that is it. Let's get started. This project's very similar in concept to the paracord fish that we made recently. It's basically just a king cobra on top of itself, but we'll start out with finding the middle of our paracord and attaching that with a cow hitch onto the keychain. So that's just putting the loop through, bring the loop over the keychain. And then we'll take about 3 or 4 inches and fold the cord back on itself. And just like in a cobra braid, except we're not attaching it to a buckle, we'll take one side, put it over the top, the other side over that, but then around the back and up through the loop. We'll just cinch that down right where it is. And then the next knot, bring that left cord over the top, the right cord around the back, and that completes our first one. So again, you can make this any size you want. I'm not going to be super precise on my directions, but basically we're going to be going to the end with our cobra braid and then turning around and doing a second layer going back the other direction. So we'll speed through this first layer and then show you how to add the one on top. So now that we reached the end, we'll just turn it around and go back the other way. The one thing to keep in mind with the king cobra is that we want to take whatever cord went over the top on the previous layer and make sure that that cord starts on the top on our next layer. So that's this right side cord. Bring that over the top. The left one down and around and up. And when you tighten that down, you just want to make sure that it lands in between the bumps of the first layer. Like that. I'll make one more and then give you a close-up. So now you can see the bump from the bottom layer are in between the bumps in the top layer. So we'll keep on going with that until we get to the bottom. So there's our second layer done. You can see the bumps from the knots underneath line up nice with the layer on top. It takes a little bit of work to get it that even sometimes, but just stick with it, and with some practice, it'll turn out nice. At this point, we're going to turn around again, head back the other direction. Pretty much the same as before. We just want to make it spaced evenly with those knots beneath. The goal with this is to make our layer on top go as far as we can. Otherwise, we'll end up with more of a diamond shape than a rounded pumpkin shape. All right, third layer's done. Back the other way. So after you've finished your fourth layer and you've come to the bottom for a second time, you'll want to fit on one more knot before turning around the other direction. Otherwise, we'll turn into that diamond shape that we were talking about. So once more, just kind of cram one more knot on the end of that. It's okay if it kind of slips down onto the layers beneath it. It just kind of helps round out the appearance of the pumpkin. So we'll keep adding layers until it looks nice and rounded, and then we'll show you how to finish it off with the face. Alright, I actually ended up using all 30 feet. I think I made this one a little bit taller than some of my other prototypes, so it packed a good amount in there. We'll go ahead and just clip the ends of this first, and then we'll start on our second color. So for this, you want to take about 1.5 feet maybe. I'm not quite sure exactly how much we'll need, but you'll need a little bit of extra anyway so that you can pull the fid through. So 1.5 feet and take the inner strands out. So we'll start with the eyes. And I'm just going to bring it up from the bottom. Let's see, eyes about here. And I make them about 2 stripes tall. So I'm going to pull the end through till it's anchored below, where you can, kind of where you can't see it. And then bring it down for another stripe. There we'll have kind of a almost circular eye. Bring that through again. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of tuck that underneath as we go over to the other side to make that eye. Up from the bottom again. Working our way back towards the middle. There's our stripe 1. And then on the next one, we're going to tuck it under whatever stripe is underneath, bury it for a few, and then come up for a nose. Like that. You just want to be careful that you don't have twists in your cord as you go along. There we go. And we'll do pretty much the same thing for the nose as well. If you want to kind of angle it into a triangle, you can. Otherwise, just do a couple stripes and then we'll move on to the mouth. The mouth you can do any number of ways, but I like to find about 3 rows and then alternate between using the top 2 and the bottom 2. And that kind of gives the image of some teeth. You'll see what I mean after I do a few rows. So there you can kind of see what I mean by the alternating stripes. I've finished the left side, so we'll just kind of tuck this underneath and move on to the right side. In case you didn't quite catch how to make that pattern, you'll just go over the first 2 cords and catch that third one. So if I were to go back and do it again, I would just go over the first 2 and under that third one. But I'm going to end it there, and we'll just tuck the end underneath. There's our finished jack-o'-lantern. I also made a skull one ahead of time. That one was kind of fun. You just want to double it up more on that top portion than on the bottom. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same directions. I hope you guys enjoyed this one last hurrah for Halloween. If you're already in the Christmas spirit, these would also make a good Christmas tree ornament if they were made with different colors and a different pattern. We'll put links in the description to where you can find all the supplies used for this project. If you have any suggestions on other projects you want to see us do, definitely let us know in the comments or on our social media pages. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.